Thank you for tuning in to Cop with Critic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're the critic, Jack Probst. Jack Probst, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's good to meet you.
Good, yeah, great to meet you. We got
Yeah.
jackprobst.com where hopefully you paste. I mean, it looks like, yeah, I said paste, but I see paste and pitchfork, etc. And jackprobst.com is where you'll post a lot of your music writing, I hope. And on Instagram, it's Jack D. Probst, as in dog. And then Blue Sky, they call it, I guess. It's Jack Probst. You were an early
Yeah.
adopter of Blueski. What are you posting on these things? Are you posting links on Blueski or Blue Sky?
Yeah, links to writing, but also just things I find funny.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It can't be all
So,
music all the time. If you
right.
put something funny up there, I'll be able to repost it, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious, Jack Probst."
I
Are you also
I
Jack D
do.
Probst on Instagram? That's hilarious.
Yeah, right, right. Are you the same Jack Probst? Yes. Yeah, because I do, I don't really I don't really consider myself like a critic so much anymore. I kind of lean into personal essays and I found those to be my strengths. So, I definitely have, essays about music and movies and podcasts and comedy a lot. And so, love to laugh.
You also have
So,
you also have a Substack then for personal essays, etc.
I did. I never really got it going though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not the most, the last couple of years, I haven't been quite the most prolific in getting things up, but I do on Merry-Go-Round magazine. I have a monthly-ish essay column called the Bargain Bin, where I like go back and find albums that I loved. Some of them are not really talked about, some of them are whatever, but kind of tie it back to, the memories and people and times that were important to my life, and because I link that kind of stuff to media, to music I was enjoying, to
Oh, good.
films, to that kind of stuff. So,
And I was about to
um,
suggest you actually take us to a music bin of a record store and be like, I'm just gonna, pick these 10 things out of this crappy clearance bin and try, listen to them for the first time. I think they did that with, DJs did that with samples where they had
right.
to go to a record store, pick like three albums and make a song out of it in like 20 minutes. But then, I mean, you'll be getting a lot of bad music, and I'd rather you talk about, songs you like, why you like them, and it's just a mechanism for, I like this one because it's attached to this memory or it represents this music movement. So that's great. That's on Merry-Go-Round, and that's a monthly column.
More or less, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm trying like this year to really nail getting it up there monthly, but it doesn't always happen.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, life gets in the way. We're doing
Exactly.
the Hall of Fame face off. Each of us picked five artists from the Rock Hall of Fame, even though there's not a lot of rock in here. Um,
Right, right.
which is great. It's just a pop music Hall of Fame to me. And we each picked a song. We're going to face them off, and I'm going to go first, which gives you the opportunity to pick a strong song or a weak song, depending on how strong or weak you think mine is. And so first, I'm going to pick the Platters, Only You. What did you think of the song, and what are you going to face off against it?
Okay, well, I kind of like laid out, I try to stay positive with lots of things. And so what I try to do is just kind of find songs that were good, similar vibes in a way. And so the Platter song is great. I don't think there's anything on either of our lists that is bad.
Yeah.
But with Tom Waits, I'm a big fan of his album Rain Dogs, and I tried to pick, like a ballad, something that's a little more matched up to this, and it's not exactly like R&B, but it's soulful in the way that Tom Waits can be with his gravelly voice, and
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. And
it's
I kind of, it makes me think of Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, though. Isn't that like a
okay,
big
yeah.
song about the guy? I think it's One Day You're Going to Die. I think it's Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley was about somebody who killed somebody, I think, like Tom Dool or some
That
shit.
sounds familiar. I
Yeah.
don't
And I think
think of it
Zodiac was into
exactly,
songs
but
like
yeah.
that talked about death. So I think it's a Zodiac song, which is Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley. It's funny that Tom Waits kind of took it and was like, I'm going to make this to a nice song. Like, I'm a
Right.
big fan of Tom Waits. I do think he's amazingly soulful. I think his gravelly voice works perfectly. Why is Rain Dogs the album that you like out of Tom Waits?
Well, so when I was growing up, my uncles were in high school and then college, And so they were like a big influence for music for me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so like whatever was popular in college radio, your U2s, your R.E.Ms, etc., The Cure, which we'll get to some of those, but one day in eighth grade, I was like emailing my uncle Wally. I was like, "Hey, is there anything that I need to like? I need something new." Uh, to listen to. Give me, whatever your favorite stuff is, or what, and he's like, Tom Waits' Rain Dogs, that'll change your life.
Uh,
Came out the year I was born, so like that already like clicked for me, but it's just so the production is so strange and it's dark and but it has those like moments of beauty and life. There's it just really it's the album of his that completely grabbed me start to finish, and it is one of my all-time favorites.
oh, good. I was
Um,
like that with Mule Variations, man. Like I think,
oh, that's
yeah.
probably my second favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
whenever you're exposed to Tom Waits, you're just kind of impressed by, in each album, there's going to be a harsh song that's like, that's amazingly fucking awesome, but harsh. But then there's just these tender, beautiful things. Like Filipino Box Spring Hog was the harsh song, or one of the
right,
harsh songs on Mule Variations. But then you have, Come On Up to the House, or I'm Gonna Love You Till the Wheel Falls Off. I forgot what song that is, but this is the guy who wrote Downtown Train too. So you're like,
right,
you could probably take a lot of his tender ballads and put it through the mouth of the most popular song, singer at the time. They'll make a hit out of it. But I mean, I prefer it
right.
coming out of the mouth of Tom Waits.
Oh, same. Like, like Downtown Train, I think Rod Stewart covered,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm not a fan of his, but like it does just show that somebody can take it and make it something completely different with the same, it's just the same lyrics, the same. Yeah, I mean, I want to hear Tom do it, but you still get an interesting version no matter what it is.
Yeah, give us both versions. I'll take the pretty version and the Tom Waits version, but something like
Yeah.
What's He Building in there, the spoken word
Right,
audio,
right,
only he can do that. So I appreciate it. The
for
Platters,
sure.
this was just me. I try to get like five different artists for every episode. And so
Mhm.
it's not always going to be heavy hitters. And so I went through the Platters catalog and I was like, I think this is the best one as far as, being a pop song. It's solid.
Yeah.
But of course, I think Tom Waits wins by default just because I hadn't been exposed to it before that particular song, and it's a good song.
Mm.
And the Platter's Only You has just been, I don't know, done and overdone in
Right.
movie music, I think, if not commercials. So what song are you picking next? And then I'll let you know who I'm going to face off against it.
Let me. I want to talk about Funkadelic's Maggot Brain.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I
So,
gotta, yeah, let me see who's gonna match up against it. Let me tell you my
okay,
experience
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Maggot Brain. Let's do let's do Bobby Blue Band, Lead Me On. Maggot Brain I was just exposed to via Jonathan Gold and the Gold documentary, which
Oh,
was, yeah, it was called
interesting.
City of Gold, and Jonathan Gold is the guy who a uh, big, large, pale walrus man with a big. I thought he had a walrus mustache. Maybe he didn't. His long, stringy hair, even though he's bald on top. He's dead now, but he was the first guy to get the Pulitzer for food criticism. And it turns out, like, he went on this LA, like during the City of Gold documentary, he went on a hip hop radio show, and they were saying how, like, they showed him in the Rolling Stone. He had been in the studio during Snoop and Dre during the Chronic sessions, and this is the whitest man known to man, and he's like exposing the world via print to these wonderful artists, and it was just so great. But when he also picked a song, he picked Maggot Brain, and he was talking beautifully about how the melody just folded in and on itself, and how the solo never runs out of things to say. And so I did get into it via that. I will say at maybe the 10-minute mark, they almost lose the plot. They almost just like,
Right.
it just kind of stops and they just start getting a little weird. And so I did like Maggot Brain, and Jonathan Gold, rest in peace. He introduced me to it. So that was great. Why did you like Maggot Brain?
Well, so I worked at in back in my right out of high school, worked in a record store for 10 years. And so you would just I would get exposed to so many things I had never heard
Yeah.
before. Just working with, guys who had been in the business for decades, but also, the people that were more my age, and so there was so much hitting me all the time, and it kind of like made me realize what I love the most, more than, like, oh, I need to know everything about everything. I was like, no, I know how to or I kind of just like embraced what reached out to me. And so one day I was working up in the back office and I hear this song, the weird intro,
Yeah, the intro is dicey. I'm gonna give it
yeah,
an A minus because of the intro, and then
yeah.
a B plus given the end at the 10-minute mark where they just start fucking around.
Yeah, I get that too. But like it just struck me. I was like, what is this? And then the rest of the album was like it felt like somebody put on like a soul R&B, like a hits, or like a really weird compilation. And I go down and I'm like, oh, this is all one album. Holy shit,
Oh wow.
like but one thing that always gets me, and there's this story I read, I may not get all the details right, but like essentially like George Clinton high on LSD, they're going in to record this song, and he tells Eddie Hazel, like, play like you were just told your mother just died.
Oh no.
And like imagine how that day would feel, how you would process and like assess your own life and everything, and just like play from your heart and your absolute like inner self. And Eddie Hazel is so incredible. And he just, it's the whole song is the focus on his, it's a 10-minute fucking guitar solo that is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Did it in one take,
Oh
and
wow.
agree with you on like the beginning, the end being kind of weird, but like that song always stops me in my tracks anytime I hear it. I'm just like, it is absolutely beautiful and dark and sad and
So we think he
joyful
we,
at
we think he
times too.
improved. We think he improved that guitar then. We think Eddie Hazel went
That's
in there and improved it.
That's the story I read, was just like going in, George Clinton says play like your mom just died, and just played his heart out, and he just got it all in one take. I
Wow.
don't know if that is truly the story, but that's what I've always read, and I just that made me love the song even more,
Yeah,
truly.
other than it being improv, because it's such quality, it does not surprise me that it was inspired by that, kind of the thought of
Yeah.
the fear of your mother dying. And so good job to Clinton kind of making that
Yeah.
happen. But Eddie Hazel, yeah, it was real good. And Bobby Blue Band, this was another one where it was just like I had never heard it before. And so I went through there and I was like, this is a really, really good song. I mean, unlike Only You by the Platters, this one, I'd never heard it before. It wasn't overplayed in movies or commercials. And so I do like the song, but yeah, Maggot Brain in that story might win it. Let me do Billy Joel's Moving Out. What do you think of the song and what are you going to put against it?
So Billy Joel is the, interestingly enough, the first artist that I became obsessed with. Like I
Really?
was like 3 or 4, like, and we would like anytime we were in the car, it was Billy Joel's greatest hits 1 and 2 on cassette. Like I would
Cassette.
not go anywhere without it being in the tape deck. And so I
Uh,
love Billy Joel. Truly,
okay.
Moving Out is a great song, like a classic, interesting story, but like it, the heart attack, part, like that makes me laugh still, and the thing about him is, sometimes he's cheesy, but it's still that nostalgia there for me. So I do love that song.
And I think he
You
finally
know,
moved out of Long Island because he ended up paying $500,000 a year in property taxes alone.
right.
And he couldn't sell that because it's not Hampton. And so he had to split, the property that he assembled between 3 or 4 lots into several parcels so that people could afford it. And the first one to go was, I think, the beach house, which itself had 7 fucking rooms or something.
Right. And I know
I'm
that
like,
like
my Lord.
he often gets like he's kind of the butt of the joke in a lot of ways. And he is, he's just he's a pop guy in a weird way. Like I had my uncle one time made a mix of it was like here's the Billy Joel song and then here's the song he's ripping off and
Oh
it's
no.
like but it still works, you know? Like I
That's
don't you
funny though.
but it's just that
You had a
like
relative
they
who's such a purist and such a music fan. He made you a tape of the
right.
Billy Joel song, and the song it ripped off was moving out on
But
there.
like they're also equally obsessed with Billy Joel, so it wasn't like a malicious thing. It was
Yeah.
just like this is an interesting way to look at this and what he was trying to do. And so I
And
always kind of
that's why
remembered
you're a critic now. And what are you going to face off against it?
Yes's Roundabout.
Yeah,
Um
let me talk about both of them and then we'll
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
talk. Yeah, moving out, one of the reasons why I like it is there's a couple songs in life where they just make you, they kind of say everything that you're feeling. And one of the things in moving out is you work so hard for a, you know what, you're working your ass off just for a house in Hackensack, New Jersey. It's like you were always told to, get a job, get a full-time job, buy a house, blah blah blah. It's like I'm doing all this fucking shit for that. No, if that's what it's all about, I'm moving out. And so like that's just a lyric I love. It's a great message. Yes, Roundabout, you were the first person to make me listen to. Yes, so thank you for that. But also, it's like it suffers from the same progressive thing where it's like there's a lot of great songs in here, but do the songs go together? So tell me about Yes, Roundabout, Progressive. How should I look at a song like this where it doesn't seem to, it's all good. Like there's a lot of good parts to it. They just
Right.
don't seem, they turn on a dime, just like a lot of progressive shit. And they don't seem to be, I'm a pop guy. And so if there's,
Right.
if the song doesn't go together, it shouldn't be this long and this twisty and turny. Tell me about it. Yeah, teach me,
I,
please.
Yeah, I so Yes is like my dad's favorite band and for years I was just like I do not care. Like, my dad loves he loves incredible music as well and we always are, I turned him on to so many things over the years, but like Yes I never got around to, but I was watching the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and for some reason Roundabout is the credit song and the bass like is so I just love the sound of it. It's so strange and um but I only heard a bit of a clip and I'm like, okay, I should listen to this one. And I played it on repeat for months.
Wow.
I think the album is great as well, but no, I totally get like it is the proggy like uh there is a lot of like weird disconnect, but in a way I started to really appreciate it because I went like, oh, okay. When I went through my Flaming Lips phase,
Oh,
Soft Bulletin, Yoshimi, that kind of stuff. I'm
yes.
like, oh, Yes is like my dad's equivalent to, you know, Flaming Lips. There's like weird sci-fi elements to like their artwork, and Dad was always big into sci-fi. It's why I love it. And so I just really connected to it, but it was like it took me 30 something years to get there, to
For
happen to hear it. And I was like, I send him the text that every father wants to hear. Your son loves your favorite band now, like
oh,
he
that's great.
totally it clicked once and so I think just like they're incredible musicians. It's incredibly weird. It was a weird mash, like to pit these two together, but like I love them both for very different reasons. But I just wanted an opportunity to talk about Yes.
Yeah, and it's so
Yeah.
funny. Dad, for 30 years, you said yes and I said no. But
Yeah.
now I'm a convert. I love that. And I'm glad
Exactly.
nobody on the pod so far has picked a Rush. Because when you speak about the instrument, the musicians are good or the instrumentation's good, it's like I can see that and yes, and luckily there's no Geddy Lee on vocals. It's just like, come on, you can't make your song twist and turn and brag about the musicianship when I just hate that fucking vocal. But yes, yeah, but yes, Roundabout. It's like I did like a lot. I mean, I think I liked some keyboard parts of it and things like that. But
Hmm.
it's just so funny that you finally saw the light because of an anime cartoon. Is
Right.
that anime
Yeah.
cartoon on Netflix?
Um, it is either on Netflix or Hulu. It was one that like I don't do a lot of anime, but I kept hearing things about it being very strange, and I was like, "Oh, I'll check it out." And I think I got maybe three episodes in, and then just never went back. But like, I grabbed Yes from it, and then it's like it's one of those things where it's just like instead of trying to seek out every single song ever, every single band ever, like I rely on, I keep up with a lot of new music, but things you rely on those moments when something hits you just the right way and
Yeah.
at just the right time. And it's like, okay, well, this is when I was supposed to discover this. This
Yeah,
is
and
when
that's what we
this,
want to read about anyway, because everybody is assigned, criticism and music reviews of new music, because there's the labels that are probably paying for it. So like I really just want to know them. It's just so funny to learn. Like
right,
I want to hear Jack Probst talk about how he got into Yes, it's because of the JoJo thing. And I'm gonna check it out just because it's only in the
yeah,
credits, so it'll be easy to check out. But also it's like progressive rock, I'm always thinking about like on a deserted island, what album would I want? And all albums would suck because they would be repetitive. Whereas if
right,
you got a progressive album, you'd be like, oh, good, I have 15 songs, but each of them have five parts. So it's like I'm bringing, I don't know,
right.
75 songs, 75 little songs to the deserted island. What is, and also I do get a lot of my, like, I'm turned on. These music supervisors are so great. They stick these songs that you've never heard into these wonderful parts of these sitcoms or movies or prestige television on HBO or whatever the hell it is, and I'm like, man, you guys just ate my lunch because I've never heard that song. I love
Mhm.
that song, and it's perfect for this scene. And so it's totally expected to be turned on to good music by those music supervisors. What's your next song? And let me know. I'll let you know when we face off against it.
Let's go. REM, the one I love.
Oh, good. And then I'll do well. Ooh,
Please go with, sorry, please go with The Cure because I have and I felt like I did put these two together for a specific reason.
oh, good. Yeah. So let me, yeah,
Um
love song real quick. I think that's the first
yeah,
song that I got into with The Cure. I mean, it's kind of a dark song, but it really moves. And he's kind of loungy with the singing, so I really liked it. The one I love is great, of course. You'll have to explain the chorus. Was he sing Fire?
fire
Yeah.
over and
And so
over.
I
Yeah.
was a big REM, like I deep dove REM all the way to the beginning. And they had some really great stuff on there. But was this their first one, or was it Stand in the Place Where You Live? Their first
This
hit.
I believe this came out before I think Stand is on Green, which is maybe the album after Document.
Okay.
But that was like their bigger. I think that one like kicked them into the mainstream even more. Like Document was their last on IRS Records, so their last like on the more independent label, and then they went on to become one of the biggest bands of all time and everything.
Yeah.
Um, both REM and The Cure were another like these were bands that both my uncles and my parents listened to. REM more when it came to like my mom and dad, but I there was another one where it was like I was 6. They took me to see The Cure. I was obsessed with them just because I wanted to hang out with my uncles. I was like, whatever you are into, please take me to this or please do, like I was always ready to go. And I just like I remember being a little kid and trying to like copy Robert Smith's voice. And
And did you
and I
succeed?
it
Can a
was
six, I don't know if a 6-year-old can copy that voice. Although
in
some of the
my head.
Giddy music that, he got real high sometimes.
Right, yeah. Well, like being a kid, as far as I remember in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I was nailing it, but I have no fucking clue. But yeah, but so I was they were very early influences. They were very early, just bands I was obsessed with. And but what I think is interesting about both songs, like it is saying love, in something.
All right.
Um, the one I love so often becomes a song that people completely do not understand. They hear this one goes out to the one I love, and it's like they ignore the rest of the lyrics, just
The third
completely stop.
line,
And they
another
like,
prop, another
right.
prop to occupy my time. Is that what he says?
Yes, yeah, or a simple prop, I think.
A simple
Um,
prop.
Yeah. And so like yeah, and he's like this one goes out to the one I love and then you stop paying attention and the next one is this one goes out to the one I left behind. And so
And
it's
then
all
fire.
it's just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And so
fire.
like, yeah, fire should be your first clue that maybe you should have paid more attention to the third
But
and fourth
like
sentences. Yeah. So what is he
the
saying for fire? What is that?
that I mean, I don't know if it is a I am not always like lyrics are not always first for me, so I get it. Sometimes I don't always understand the ins and outs of it. But what I remember reading so much about this is that like people will play this at their wedding because they're like, oh yeah, this love song, da 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 da, and I'm like, you're probably better off playing the Cure song, which is,
Yes.
even though it is dark and all that, is more of a traditional love song. And this REM thing is like the complete opposite. It is, it's not what it's not your marriage maybe not like gonna go great after this
I would
because
just
if
love to
this
be
is
like a,
what you think.
a
Yeah.
music fan at the reception, just looking at those two idiots. Because
Yeah.
you're the only one who'd be like, dude, which one are you saying? The other one is a simple prop, and
Right.
then they say he sings fire, and everybody leaves because they think it's a fire drill. Like love
Right.
song. Like I also did try to copy Robert Smith in that when you're a kid. I heard these songs that were kind of mumbly, and one was love song, one was Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, and one was
Oh yeah.
Terrence
That's a
Trent
classic.
D'Arby, Sign Your Name Across My Heart, where they these very chill, low key vocals that were very, they kind of imprinted on me the need to impersonate them. And so Robert Smith was, yeah, I also did some impersonation of that, but it was really just kind of a chill delivery that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
What is the last song? Or I'm going to do mine, which is Salt-n-Pepa's Push It, the real version. They're, I think
I
they're
did I
notorious.
did make sure I looked up that one, like you said, with the
Oh, good.
YouTube link
Yeah, yeah,
because
because yeah, the
you gotta hear
re-recorded,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
the re-recorded version, it's like I think they probably don't own their masters and they're pissed off at the record
Right.
label. But the one on, YouTube is just amazing. I think they're in the influencer category, and you're like, well, if they can get in there, you would think like the Smiths and the Pixies could at least get in via influencer, or at least the
Right.
Pixies via influencer, Smiths via performer. Maybe they're just holding out. They're like, I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be a performer. But yeah, Salt-n-Pepa's Push It. They had the multicolored leather jacket with probably an 8 ball on back, like David Puddy on
Right.
Seinfeld. But Get Your Freak On that is also just, I think it's Timbaland, and so the production is just
Hmm.
space age and before its time. I guess the only thing I'll say is that, and I do love her, and when they did a tribute to her dances, like 20 years later, there's an MTV Awards or some shit where they brought up just some dancers who just fucking nailed her dances great. And they had a big blow up outfit. You know how she had those big outfits that were shiny or purple or some shit. And so that was
Hmm.
really great. But the only downside, I guess, is that one lyric is dated because it's rap. Rap gets dated. And so when she
Sure.
says holla, you're kind of like, that was about 10, 15 years ago. Holla. And you're kind of
But
like, I don't know.
it's still fun to sing along to,
And it works. It works song-wise
Yeah, it
because then the
works.
music
Yeah.
stops or whatever. But you're like, it just sucks that it's a little bit dated. But she had some recent ones that were great too.
Yeah.
Last 5, 10 years.
I picked Missy Elliott to go up against this because like that Salt and Pepper song is incredible. And they were such pioneers being like women in hip hop, that were like had hits and
Yeah.
everything. But with Missy, who came later, such big productions, both with, yeah, like you said, Timbaland, uh, doing just incredible work, but also her videos and
Yeah.
visuals were just, even though some of those are dated, in a way, you could still like watch them and go, whoa, like I
Yeah.
remember I was a kid, I wasn't into a lot of the pop stuff at the time, but I would see it and go like, what the hell is this?
Because
This is wild. This is strange.
you're a sci-fi guy.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
exactly,
it must have been the
exactly.
Video Vanguard Award that she won or whatever, because it was not just celebrating her and her music, it was also the videos. And so all
Right.
the cool videos they have, they kind of brought it to life on stage. And so I'm gonna actually fire that up again. That's great. But I do like that she was not conventionally hot, but she was she was the funkiest chick there was. And so her
Yeah.
like Salt-n-Pepa, you want to be like them, and you're like, is Salt-n-Pepa an influencer? And then I think about all the hundreds of songs by, current people of color that are hip hop and Mana Leo and Megan Thee Stallion and all these people like Flo Milli. There's just some, or Rico Nasty. Like there's just all these people who are amazing, and maybe they couldn't have done that without Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, 100% why I put Missy up against it because she was so creative and weird and just like a whole vibe. And she was just a visionary in a way. But with Salt and Peppa, like you don't have Missy Elliott without them. You don't have them paving the way for it. So like they were such early pioneers in that sense that like Salt and Peppa flew so Missy could soar and just like be her own thing. And I think that is they just complement each other so well in that regard. Like you said, the influencer and then what came after is so great.
Yeah, it's so funny to see like producers match up perfectly with their artists. It's kind of like
Right.
Pharrell with Clips. Or I suppose Justin Timberlake. If you haven't canceled Justin Timberlake, he did some good stuff with Timbaland, but I think Timbaland is probably carrying the weight there. But we follow him everywhere. It's jackprobst.com, and it's on Blue Sky, I guess. It's Jack
Yes.
Probst.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, it's Jack Diaz and Dog Probst. Jack Probst, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is great.